And we have started. Let's see. Okay. I always forget where my chat is. Channel. I gotta mute this. Oh, it's already muted. Good. There's my chat. Okay, I can see chat. Alrighty. There we go. That should be working. I hear guitar, that's good. That's working. I got that. I got this thing. Okay, cool. I think I am good to go here. Let's see. And I gotta see if this works. Bloop. Oh, look at that. Oh, that's cool. Doop, doop. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's awesome. That is. Oh, there we go. Okay. All right. Well, looks like everything is functional. It sounds good in my headphones. Hopefully out there is okay. Got some guitar. So, welcome to episode 3 of Behind the Curtain. Hey, Cooj, good to see you again. As always, let me know if something doesn't sound right. I want to make sure that the listeners enjoy what they're listening to, hopefully. And I just figured out how to do this cool. Awesome, good. I hooked up the second webcam that I could toggle on because I'm going to be using this DR5 machine, and I'm like, I got to be able to show something with that, rather than just have it over here on this camera. So this should be kind of cool. I mean, it's upside down, but at least it's not like, me just over here in the background hitting stuff. You can at least see my fingers doing something, even though it might not be apparent what I'm exactly doing, but that's okay. So yeah, I'm gonna have some fun today. This DR5 unit is an old workstation. I should probably Google when it actually came out. Let me see. I've had this thing for a long time. Let me actually check here. I'm really curious when this came out because I've had this forever. And it's really pretty powerful for what it does. And it was very ahead of its time. Let's see, Boss DR5. Let's see here. They have them from the 1990s. Wow, okay. Yeah, this is pretty old. And apparently they still have them at guitar centers and they're used. And yeah, that's cool. Huh, neat. So workstations are interesting. Many people don't realize that before YouTube, you had to actually buy backing track CDs and cassettes and play to them. You couldn't just go on YouTube and type in, oh, I want to play an A minor jam, and bang, and there's 100,000 different options. This was more like, I'm eating my hair. This is kind of like, oh, you want to be able to create your own? Okay. And most of the time you would have these workstations on keyboards. And these really high-end keyboards, which was just really difficult to use. And if you're a guitar player, you want the quick and easy most of the time. It's not easy to just understand how a keyboard works. Okay. So this Boss DR5 basically is designed for guitar players, and it's actually kind of interesting. I'll go through some of the sounds and show how to put stuff together, but I'm really eating my hair. Oh my god, stop. Jeez. Okay, that's annoying. So, oh my god, where's that strand? Where is it? Get out of there. Get out of there. So what I'm gonna do is I literally powered it up, but I haven't actually used this in forever. So it powered up. I did 5 minutes of oh, how do I use this again, just to get used to the navigation. But I'm going to go through a couple different examples. I'm actually curious what's even on here. So I'm going to put the guitar down for a second. And let's see here. Okay. So it has like patterns saved and songs saved. But the first one I found, I was kind of laughing at this. This must have been a backing track I was going to use. And it's fast. I can put it. This sounds like cocaine, right? So I must have been jamming over that song at some point and just programmed it. But you can hear like you got drums, you got bass going on. And what's interesting is there's so many different sounds that this can create. And you gotta remember, like, this is from the 90s. So if I go into my patterns here, and then I have, let's see, the instruments. So I have like, you know, my drums, which I remember programming this thing for, like, you know, I had like a double bass for like speed metal. I'll do some jamming later. I used to jam with this thing to like tracks and just mess around. Let's see here. You have like piano. You can actually do like chords and stuff on it because the whole thing is laid out like a guitar would be. I realized I had this. Let's see. If I can adjust volume. Yeah, I always had the drums really loud in this thing. I'm gonna turn the piano up a little bit. But you have like, you know, you can do like the sustain pedal and everything. Let's see. I think it's it. It's kind of cool. You have staccato. So it's kind of neat. It's kind of neat. And again, we're just getting into this thing. Okay, I got the volume a little higher. And then what's the other one? This is bass, I think. Yeah, I turned out a little bit too. I was very drum heavy on this thing. There's like one bass. And then you have what? This is like a weird. Oh, it's like a synthy. That's kind of cool. But I know I was able to, let's see here, instrument. Okay, so I can go through some of the sound. Like these are, you know, obviously you have a bunch of drum sounds and basses, but you have like stuff you'd find like in a Radio Shack keyboard. Yeah, exactly. I was about to say, I'm looking over, yeah, it's like a Radio Shack keyboard. You know, you have just these different things. You have banjos, sitar. And some of these are terrible. That's just labeled as sound. You have your typical, like, different waveforms. There's the warm one. Fantasy stuff. This is big. There's your basic, like, just crazy synthy stuff. Let's see here. All 80s. The flute. Doesn't sound anything like a flute. Clarinet. Sort of sounds like a clarinet. Oboe. Nope, doesn't look like an oboe. Tenor sax. That sounds like a. Those sound nothing like a saxophone. Brass. Yeah, that's like Beverly Hills Cop. Terrible brass sounds. But again, 1990 something. Trumpet, no. Ooh! It actually sounds like a trumpet a little bit. Orchestra? Of course, you gotta have orchestra hits. Yeah, everyone's gotta have that. Really bad choir sound. Strings from the 90s. Another string. That's awesome. So there's like so many different sounds here, but oh, violin. The way I remember I would always pick, like, I had the drum. You have basically 4 different things you can go at one time. So I'd have the drums going, and I'd have some kind of bass, piano, and then the other one would be like a synth or something over the top that I would do. So This one had the war. Yeah, let's see. I have this. I have a kit saved. I called it Vinny because I was really into Vinny Colaiuta, who was just a monster drummer. I'm gonna go back to that. Warm. Actually, no, let's use one of those terrible strings. Where's the string sound? We'll make it really, really terrible. String 2. Oh, that's terrible. I could live with that. That's not too terrible. Okay, so I think I have. Okay, that's kit 1. How do I save that? I don't even remember how to save anything. Yeah, it doesn't really matter. There's a race. Okay, I'm just gonna keep it there. Hit exit. It should save. So we have. Okay, yeah, we have our drums. We have piano. We have a bass. And those strings. Okay, so now I'm going to attempt to make a pattern here and jam over it. So let's see here. Let's find. I don't think I'm going to need this cocaine jam. I'm going to erase that. I remember how to erase stuff. Shift, delete. Okay. Now I haven't created in a long time, so I know you can do it, like you can physically like play and quantize and do step stuff, but let me see here. We're gonna do. Okay, so it's empty. So real step. Okay, I get to pick the note. If I do like 8th notes. How many bars I got here? It's like 4 bars of 4. You hear the metronome go 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, and a higher. Okay, I got 4 bars. Okay, there's a way to change that too somehow. I think it's. Oh, there it is. Time signature. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna make this 8 beats to make it a little easier for myself. Okay. That's that. Enter. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to start with like a bass line. I had a bass line. Whoops, that's piano. Okay, let's see what we can do here. 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3. Yeah, so now it's looping that. That's cool. Okay, I need like a piano chord. Let's see, that's F minor, so I'm gonna do like a. Maybe something. Oh, that's cool. I dig that. What those strings can do. Need something like this. That's kind of cool. Okay, so that gives me a bass track, that gives me a piano, and it gives me that string. So what I used to do, and I'll do for a second because I used to have a lot of fun doing this, I learned a lot of cool beats on drums by literally playing on this thing with my fingers. So like if I turn record off, so it won't actually like record the drum, it's just gonna play the pattern, and there's no click, right? So I gotta like actually keep time. So I'm just gonna jam drums for a second. I don't remember what's what here, but it's something like this. double bass. That's kind of cool. Oh my god. Okay, so let me program an actual drum beat. That's I would do that for hours. I think I had like a hip hop. I got a whole bunch of different. Oh, there's like a. Oh wow. Shaker. That's a mean snare. Oh my goodness. Wow. That's pretty awesome. Oh my goodness. Okay, I could do that for hours. So let me actually program a normal drum beat here. Let's see. I kind of like that little like dance thing. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so now we have that, so I just take it off of recording. Okay, so now it's just gonna loop that pattern. Okay, now I can actually jam over. So, where's my pick? There it is. So now I've got my backing track I just made, and I just put this thing on. There's like one like loop, so if I wanted to create like another progression, I know there was like I could go between a bunch here. So if I take that and let's see, I think I could just copy that. Yes, okay. So I copy that to this next one. So this is the same one. Okay, I'm gonna reuse the drum tracks. I'm lazy. So let's see. I go in here to the instruments. I'm gonna get rid of the piano, the bass, and the really bad strings. So I can get rid of track 1, yes. I can get rid of track 2, yes. And then track 3. So this should be just drums. Yep, there we go, just drums. Okay, so let's see here. I was doing F. So I'm going to go to like, I'm going to go to a let's see here, F minor. So we're going to go to a D flat major. So I'm going to do, let's see, we'll do the bass, or no, piano. What did I do before? I rhythm I did before. Let's see, I did. So I'll just do like. Do that. We'll do like a similar. So. Okay, that's that. Let's do the bass. I want him to go D flat, not B flat. What am I doing? Gotta get rid of that piano. Goodbye, piano. I want D flat. Do that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I'm just on a different bass. The string, let's see. That last note. Let's get rid of the string. Goodbye, strings. Let's do da, 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 da. Let's do that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that gives me two patterns. So I have the original one that I just did. This. And back. Hey, Benny. Okay, now, so I have two different banks here, or patterns, progressions. So I know there's a song option. Let's see, song. Let's clear that one. Okay. It's coming back to me. I haven't used this in so long. Okay, okay, there we go. So pattern. So I can go with pattern tool. I'm gonna do that one. I'm gonna do each one. Let's see. 4 times. So that'll be that one. Enter. Okay. Well, how do I do this? How do I do this? Enter. Yes. Go. How do I do that again? Pattern tool. There's a function. Where's it go again? Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And then we're going to do pattern 202. 1, 2, 3, 4. 201. 1, 2, 3, 4. 202. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So that should do the progression like a few times through. Hey, Madra. Okay, so this should give me like that progression a few times. Let me see here. It should be the one progression like 4 times and the other one 4 times. And it goes back and forth a few times. Here we go. Now I should switch to the other one. That's where it stops right now. Okay, cool. So that's going between a few. So that's like the basic idea of trying to get like a backing track put together. Again, this is before like you couldn't just go on YouTube, pull up tracks. You had to actually make your own or buy cassettes or CDs. I still have a whole bunch of those somewhere in a drawer I probably don't want to open up. But this thing allows me to make some pretty cool stuff. And I use this machine to do a lot of pre-production for different albums and stuff that I was on. So for like drums and all this stuff. But it's kind of neat because you can literally create different sounds. So the nice thing too is if I'm jamming, like I wanted to work on that progression, and backing tracks on YouTube are in whatever tempo they're gonna be, based on whoever wrote it. So here I could like say, okay, if I want to, I got it at 100 beats per minute right now. If I want to change the tempo to like say like 120, so I can up it without re-recording anything, which sounds kind of chaotic. So like 120 is kind of moving, but you could do something stupid, and just go like, I'm gonna turn to like 140. This is gonna sound terrible. It sounds so bad. But the nice thing is, like, if I was working on like if I was working on like a certain tempo, like let's say I was really working. Where am I here? Like even something slow. If I like put this way down like to 80, I was trying to work on playing in just a slow pocket. The advantage of playing over like something really slow is it makes you have to do that subdividing. Like there I'm trying to hear like when I can play fast. There's 4 notes for B. 1 E and the 2 E and the 3 E and the 4 E. Like the triplet, sextuplet. So trying to figure out what I can do fast over that, and that's what the advantage of taking something that you can adjust the tempo on and work the key on and say, oh, maybe I'm really good at 110, 120, but 80, 90, I'm struggling to get ideas of what to do fast over it. And that goes back to a little bit of what I talked about in the episode 1, where I was talking about when you're playing fast and you have to be able to hear where the beat is and how many notes you could play within that duration of a beat. They call it subdividing. So being able to control the tempo on a track is kind of nice. So that's why I would use this a lot. Like if I said, okay, 80, like that's kind of tough to solo over because it's you have to play really quick to play something busy. We can do 16ths, but it doesn't sound fast. It sounds more melodic. And the sextuplets, having to do like 30-second notes. Like a 30-second note pattern had to be like, instead of doing 4 notes, I'd do 8 notes. So if I'm doing my tempo here, there's 16ths. Sextuplets, or 30-second notes. So it's like hard to hold those 30-second notes in something interesting. That's what makes it kind of hard. So that's where like these slower tempos, where you put it at like like 110 is like the dream tempo for any shredder. So now my 16th notes, 1 E and a 2 E and a. Six tuplets would be the sixes, which is so like that's a really comfortable six tuplet. I anything from like 110 to 120 is like just locked in, fairly easy for me to hear. But like again, you do something where you slow that tempo way down. Now you can't pull that off, right? You can't just go to like 80 and do the same stuff. It's like, oh, now my six tuplet is a lot slower. The same like I did before. So if I do that same lick back at like 110, it's going to sound more like it fits. Just flows better. So that's what's really fun about taking the track that you make and then really messing at tempos that just aren't comfortable. So yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. So that's so now I know how to use this thing again. So I'm gonna program something. Let's see here. Let me take a new pattern. So we're going to delete that song. Go back to the patterns. What do I have here? I have no idea what that is, but you're done. You're gone. You're deleted. And what do we got here? I think we know what that is. Okay, I guess I was jamming over that at one point. Let's delete that. I should go through and see what's on here. Okay. So, let's take... I gotta remember how to record again. Ah, there we go. I want to do... so one thing I really like doing, which I haven't done in any of the episodes yet, is solo over something that modulates, that changes keys. So I'm going to program kind of like a Radiohead-ish kind of progression here. Let's see. We'll take, I think I can take a G. That should be the G. That's a G. Okay, so if I do... So I do a G to E minor, and I'm gonna E flat. Okay, here we go. Let's see. I might need more. Okay, I'm gonna double the time signature here. Let's see. I'm gonna do that again. Exit. Time signature 16. Okay, good. 16/4. Okay. And chord. So I'll do each chord will be for like 8 beats. It'll be longer. Oh, that was terrible. 4, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. The next chord will be there. That'll be E minor. Quantize it, hopefully. Hey, there we go. Okay, that's in time. And then I'm going to copy. Okay, the other pattern is going to be. Go over here. Put that same number of that. Okay, this is going to go with the E flat major. Okay, and then with a D minor. Okay, so we'll go E flat major. Okay. So I'm gonna come here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Here we go. 2 bars. Okay, and then I'm gonna need a C minor after that. Okay. Here we go. C minor. Okay, so there's going to be 4 chords. I'm going to rip off Radiohead. It's got to be a Radiohead progression somewhere. Let's see, we need bass. E flat. Okay. Okay, and then let's go to the other pattern. Other pattern, and we're gonna do the same. Okay, I need the E flat. Let's see. Okay. And here's a C. Okay, and then we gotta add some drums back to here. When you hear like it kind of wanting to like fart out, it means I'm not locked in with the tempo, but the machine will actually do what's called quantizing. It'll put me right in perfect time with a certain subdivision. So when you record, you don't have to be like perfect. So now it's right in time. I know that song. Okay, so we got drum. Now I'm going to do the same thing for the other progression. Let's do the same drum beat, because why not? Okay, and I don't know if I need strings or not behind this. If I do the string, let's see, what are the strings? Let's see, it was Haley Williams from Paramore. Oh! Oh, Paramore's awesome. I love Paramore. Let's see. I'm gonna lower the volume of the strings on this kit. How do I do that again? Oh no, I got pad. There we go. Instrument strings. Volume. Let's take it down a little bit. Pattern. That's better. It's gonna be in the background. Okay, I'm gonna put that down for string. Okay, and then the same thing for the next pattern. This is gonna go to E flat. Oh, shoot, I wasn't recording. What did I play again? Nope. Okay, got it. Okay, that gives me... Oh, hey Greg, how are you? You're always working. That's awesome. So this put together, we have this progression. So the first one, and it's going to go into the next one. This is where it modulates. That's gonna be fun to play with. So the cool thing about modulating in a backing track like that is when you go solo over, you can't just mindlessly go, and whatever. You gotta actually pay attention to what you're trying to play behind. So let me create this into the song format so it can loop for a little bit. Song. Whoops. There we go. Real step. Okay, they got it now. Oh my god. No, I don't have it. Okay, now I have it. So it's going to be 203. So pattern 203. And it's going to alter. It's going to have it alternating for a bit here. My hand's probably blocking the camera. Sorry. Okay, I just alternate it for a little bit. Let's see what we get. So this one, when I play over it, it's in G major for the first two chords. And then it's going to modulate to G minor. So this should be kind of cool. What's my tempo again? 110. Here's a G major. G minor. E That's over quick. That's fun. So you can hear where it just starts off nice. I'm gonna program a little like a smoother reverb sound for this. This needs something like emotional. Let's see. Let's do that. Let's make this really. We need more reverb. That's a little better. Let's see how that feels. Okay, something kind of like feely. Here we go. That's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. Now, if I do something like kind of clean, let's do some clean. Maybe like even a little more. Let's see. I got a little boost here. Here we go. Tasty. Sounds like a modulating track. That's kind of that's a fun thing to mess around with. When you have your deal with switching keys and I like doing that kind of stuff. So you can shred over that, but it's really more fun than just kind of playing and changing, which is kind of cool. Oh no! Oh, Mike. Okay, let me fix it. And it's back. Is that better now? How's that? There we go. It just decides like it wants to go nuts. Thanks for the heads up. I don't want to go RoboCop on you guys. Okay. That's kind of a fun little track to mess around with. The interesting thing, so let me do something kind of funky. So we had a modulating track. First one was just kind of whatever, just playing around, getting used to using this machine again. This one, so like the funky stuff, let's go to another pattern here. Let's see what's here first. Okay, let's delete that. Whatever that was. Of course, none of these patterns are labeled. I have no idea what they even are. This one. That's interesting. Okay, let's delete that. What are some of these? That's Tom Petty. Okay, let's go back to this is empty now. Okay, good. We have an empty pattern. So I'm gonna do like something kind of funky. Let's see here. Where's my bass? Okay, so we did something in F, we did something in G. Let's do like F sharp, because why not? F sharp minor. Okay, so let's do something really syncopated. There we go. Oh, why not? Ah. Oh, what was that? Let's get rid of that. Okay. Just gotta follow the bass, because why not? One more note. I should do it. 52. Okay, and I need some nasty. Let's see what we can do for drums here. This thing slides around, so. Oh, that's way up. Delete the drums. I'll have something more straightforward. There we go. That should work. So I'm gonna like do some funky stuff behind this. I don't get a chance to do a lot of funk playing. This will be kind of funky. Was it F sharp? That tone might work still. Let's see here. gosh. Oh man, that was pretty cool. That was pretty cool. Amazes me how you keep coming up with new ideas about the riff. I get a lot in. Oh, yeah. You know what helps me a lot with getting ideas? I'm always really thinking like a lot. I'm always thinking rhythmically, and like that one there. You know, you have this like basically a pentatonic, but then you put the right phrasing to it. And I was trying, like for funky stuff, I always try to think of like a horn line, you know, and so if I'm like gonna solo over that like in a horn style, I would just think, you know. And if you have like a phrase you like, you just repeat that, you know. So like or just like pure like rhythm like yappy. You know. Like all this crazy stuff that's in my head. Yeah, I for this kind of stuff, I'm really trying to think rhythmic, and even like when I'm doing the shreddy stuff, like going back to like, you know, hearing where the beat is. Yeah, right. Oh, who else did? It's like when you're on the, you know, calling someone, you're calling your doctor, and you're on hold. All you hear is, someone will be with you momentarily. If you want to be called back, press 1. If you think you're dying, call 911. Like this real happy, like, you know, go lucky, kind of funky too, you know, and right behind you're waiting for like 15 minutes just to get a human on the phone. Hey, it's a Pix. How are you, Pix? But yeah, I like the funk. And again, like earlier I was talking about the tempos make a difference. So that was at what, 110. Let's say I wanted to work that, but I want to, you know, let's go back to like a slower, like 90. I don't know how the groove's gonna feel. Like it'd be kind of laggy. Vibing is fun. Right. Our operators are answering other calls, but don't worry, we haven't forgot about you. So see how that, like, that tempo change really drags this? If we go back to where we were originally, it's got like that. Even like backing it down even more. It's like 100. It is. Let's look at a pretty good feel, but you go back to that 90, that was 100. There's only 10 beats per minute difference. Here's that real laggy. It's hard to get ideas because it's just dragging to me. So like, if I really focus on it, do something real tasty, you know. If I want to make like a lot of space, I'll do something like this, you know. I'm also kind of call him responding with the lick. I want to do something like more exercise where I want to get more to subdivision. Be like real busy. The whole reason for that is to have the ear just kind of hear that. That's like real busy if you want to just like work on your subdividing. But if you're doing like, oh yeah, slower rhythm requirement. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if you want to actually like play something tasty, yeah, you'd take that whole thing and just kind of. Theme, you know. More energy. If you hang, you know. Let the guitar sustain it. Which helps having a guitar with sustain. Cool thing too with having the track that's just looping over and over and you have no control over other than tempo or changing to a pattern that you programmed is it's like having a band behind you with no dynamics. Just they're not going down or not bringing it up, so you have to kind of create the energy in the jam, right? So that's where having the ability to subdivide and play something faster if you had to is kind of nice. But yeah, this track, like Greg was saying, this one, if you actually like really wanted to play behind this, it would be a good exercise in like doing like bending with vibrato, you know. Or just vibrato in general. A lot of people, myself included, when I first was like getting into some of this stuff, is I would play like certain lines, and it would get like real fast, nasty vibrato, and like this stuff. It's nice to have like a little more melodic where it sings. Thank you. Yeah, no, that's really fun playing behind that stuff. But it's you have to approach backing tracks like two different ways, and one is, are you trying to be musical with it, and the other way is, are you trying to be technical with it? And hopefully whatever you're working technical is to help your musical part of it. So that's where like all those subdivisions come in. Again, like wherever your tempo is at, you have to know what you can do, how many notes you can play per a click comfortably, and try to work that in your phrasing. Even if you're just like saying, I'm just going to work on like triplets or sixteenths, and you take a track and you run those over and over so your ear gets used to hearing what they sound like. Then you try to throw them in maybe a run or two into your actual like melodic playing, and that's where it gets kind of interesting. That funky stuff is cool. The other thing I really like doing, I'm going to go kind of progressive here for a second. I'm going to put, I love playing in odd meters. Most people know I love my progressive music, my Dream Theater and stuff. And I'm going to jam in 7. So 7 is, you subdivide it as 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 1 2 3. So I'm just going to do like a quick, like kind of like a doomy kind of thing here. Let's see. Let's go to whatever free pattern we have. So I'm saving all these patterns because I know, who knows, I might want to use them again for something. Plus it gives me practice getting used to using this thing again. Okay, so 206 is open. Okay, so let's do here. So 7, 2, 6, 7. Let's go. So that's 7 4. Okay, so we're gonna do like, I'm just gonna do like a 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 1 2, like real basic like odd meter thing that people would be like, oh, that's basic. But it's not when you first play over. I need a bass. That's piano. So I'm gonna do this. So like. I'm just gonna follow with the piano because why not? Drum. I'll leave the strings out because that's gonna be annoying. We'll have the drum, bass, and the piano. Okay, let me go back to my regular sound here. There we go. Okay. Back to some distorted tones because we're playing prog music. So it's funny when you start playing over odd meters, everyone's like, what? How do you make that groove? You have this. Look. All my brothers behind 7-4. That's not so bad. Oh man, that last thing I did was something called polyrhythm. that yeah, a little. It takes like a number of measures before it resolves back to the start, which is kind of cool. That's like really progressive, and those are also fun. Like playing odd meters if you're trying to do like proggy, like cleany chord stuff, like this sort of thing. Might do like just more like atmospheric. Right key. That's really atmospheric, yo. The idea. It's kind of neat stuff. Especially messing with like those cleans with the chords. But the odd meter, that stuff gets kind of it's fun, but when you're playing over that, you have to in your head you gotta keep that subdivision. So it takes a lot of time just to get used to hearing that, and like as you're again, as you're soloing behind this track, it's a machine. It has no dynamics, so you have to just kind of play around and try to lock in and get your ear used to hearing playing in some kind of odd meter. So but I spent a lot of time with like Sup and 7. I just think it's cool. It's a very different sound, and if you're not used to hearing it, it's going to sound very odd. But when you have the riff like that, just that bada bada bada, you know, your ear picks up on that. It just sounds like, it doesn't sound so weird after a while. You know, it's 7. You know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it gets a little different, which is what it is, you know. I want to see what else is on this machine real quick here. What else do I have on here? Okay, that was Refugee. AC/DC? Really? What's the solo for that? I used to know it's like, you know, what's it like, you know? Something like that. Oh, it's funny it's on there. Okay, I was jamming that at one point. What else do we have here? That sounds like... Oh, no. Okay, that's on there. There's so many. That sounds like Comfortably Numb, but I believe that. Okay. Okay, it's like some shuffle. That's the other part of that one. Okay, what else? Oh. Oh, that's still is gone. That's cool. Gotta clear this thing up. There's the other part. Thrill's gone. Okay, so. Okay, that's the other part. Okay, so 3 riffs. Black Magic. That's like it just happened. So I must have a bunch of these programmed. That's that again. That sounds like Tom Petty. cool. And that stuff's really, you want to really challenge yourself, like solo behind something like that, where it's just like this progression, real stock. It's not doing anything dynamically, and you gotta just like real pulses, and again play the subdivisions. It's up to you as a soloist to create all the excitement. All the themes you're trying to do. Yeah. So like a lot of just really really cool dynamic work, and I have fun with that because the this guitar allows me to really be expressive, and it's a very unforgiving instrument. Telecasters are, so it's a it's a double-edged sword, right? It's like you like to have stuff come out when you need it to come out, but also sometimes you don't want things to come out and they're going to come out. So you have to really be able to control this thing, and a track like that, again, this is like the most boringest backing track you could possibly do. There's nothing there, so I have to create all the excitement, all the dynamics are all just going to be me, the soloist, and that's a really good lesson to learn when you're trying to be creative and trying to create feel. It's not just like speed, like you could go from that real mellow rolled off volume tone, the guitar is still sustaining, even with lowered volume. I kick it up a little bit, still gonna play slow, but that tone just really has a little bit of spite to it. I just put more energy into the track, I'll suck it back down. All I did was change my volume. More energy, roll the volume up. So like you're in control of all dynamics. Well, you have to be, because this is just going do 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 do. It's pretty wild. Let's see. Oh, thanks, Ray. Yeah, no. Well stated. Cool. I need to make time to play through an amp. Yeah, that's a really good point, because there's one reason I always tell everyone to try to practice with an amp, and the main reason I always will refer back to that as far as for technique is people with just with the average guitar playing without plugging in, they're going to play heavier to hear themselves, so their right hand starts hitting the strings a little hard, they're squeezing the pick, and they're trying to create volume just because of the room volume is not there, so they're hitting it harder to make it sound like there's something there, and that could be really detrimental to someone that's trying to work on their technique as far as honing like any kind of faster playing, because you want to play lighter when you play faster. That's the way that works, and more control, more with the edge of the pick and the tip of the pick and angling. So yeah, having the amp for that, I always said, well, plug it into an amp, because then you're playing with the sound projecting, so you're not going to try to hit harder to get more volume. But the other reason, is the just to mess with tone. Like, to me, that's so fun to sit back and just play over something really basic like that is doing nothing for me and just trying to mess with tones. And it's hard to find that on YouTube. Like, I mean, I usually end up going to like static tracks for people. Like, here's a static C minor chord. So it's like literally one chord over and over, maybe the drum with the bass, drum and the bass part, and you got to try to like make it interesting. And that puts all that responsibility on you, the soloist, trying to make something interesting out of nothing behind you, like the boringest backing band in the world. So I like having the machine stuff for that, and there's a lot you could do with just taking boring tracks. But what you find now is most of the tracks on YouTube are they're produced really well. And which I use a lot of tracks all the time, especially for certain tempos to work on for people. But when you're really trying to play melodic, it's nice to have a track that's just not giving you anything, and you got to make it all, do whatever you need to do to make it interesting. So good lesson in that for sure. But yeah, so it was kind of fun getting this thing out. Approaching the 2-hour mark, that was my goal for today. Dust this thing off, mess around with it. I'm glad I got the other camera though. I might use that other camera maybe for like some different angles on the right hand and stuff people can watch, whatever. But that works kind of good there. I can make my little dog. No. There it is. Hi. So but it was fun. There's still like, I have no idea. I mean, there's so many presets that I've had in this thing that are just, who knows how old they are. But it was kind of fun. And again, this is technology from the 90s. It's super old, but it's still very viable. I mean, we've created like 4 tracks today, 5 tracks. I can't remember what we did. I got them all saved. So it's kind of fun. I had a lot of fun with that one, and it was neat to take like again that track we just did and just mess around with the rock beach tones and dynamics I can get out of this guitar, which I just love. And this thing just, even like acoustically, has so much volume to it. It really is loud for an electric guitar. So I just love just rolling back, and then you roll up to that full gain. Just roll it back and just, come on, man. That's so cool. So, yeah, I think the next live stream, I'm not sure when I'm going to be able to do the next one. I know we have some shows coming up. I've been sneaking on to Saturdays because I got nothing going on Saturday. I also need to learn how to use a pick. Oh, yeah, you do that well, though. I've heard you play. You definitely have your the finger style down. That's for sure. Yeah, the pick is a whole other dynamic. And I always have everyone, when they're trying to get used to a pick, I have them like just take a string, and we talk about the positioning of the right hand, supporting with the forearm and planting some fingers, so you have basically 2 points of support: your fingers on your right hand, your forearm, and you just take your open strings and just kind of tremolo pick the open strings. And just get used to like hanging there. And you get used to just having that alternate picking going, and if you can do that comfortably, you can adapt that to your strumming and your picking and everything. But it's finding a pick is also crazy. Like I literally, I could probably show on camera here. I have like in front of me is literally a bin of just picks that I've gone through. I mean, this is just one bin. There's some weird, like, look at this thing. I don't even know. This looks like a Dorito, like a tortilla chip. The size of one. But I've got crazy stuff. I've got some of the Quistorf picks that I use. I shredded down. I usually like let students pick out of here if they want to use a pick. But different types of jazz picks. So that's the other thing is like guitar pick brought you might cheese it. Yeah, I tell you. The little thumb pick. Yeah, there's some cute ones in here. There's of course a lot of yellow picks. Why not? I gotta have yellow picks. There's some metal picks I was using for a bit in here. There's actually one of my old where is it? Yeah, these are like the old metal ones I used to use. This is brass. It's a brass pick. That's heavy. So I've experimented with a lot of different picks. Little mic. Oh, I don't know if I No, those are the little Gibson picks you like. I don't have any of those in here. A nose pick. Trying to think of the most oddest one. Those taco picks are pretty odd. Somewhere, I mean, I have another one of these full of stuff too. Oh, there's a beetle pick. That's cool. This is Southworth Guitars. Oh, someone gave it to me. Yeah. Oh, here's oh, here we go. Carrie Cooley will get a kick out of this. There you go, Carrie. The cat's eye lens pick. I have it. There it is. Oh, I'll have to show it to her. This part here, this is where I keep all my good like stuff I don't give out, like the cat's eye lens, my metal picks, some Quistorf picks, a little jazz pick. I got one that looks like a throwing star. I used these for a while. This is kind of crazy. Yeah, it seems every time you hold. Yeah, it's exactly what it is. It's a mega huge difference, and for me, so the curse I have with picks is so the edge of the pick gets worn down for me, right? So like a lot of the picks I have in there are just like picks that I've worn down a little bit. I say, well, I don't want to just chuck it. I mean, someone might be able to use it and whatnot. But the picks I have need a point, right? Like this one, if I hold it to the camera, I don't know if you can see, it's got a pretty good point on it. So the idea with the point is when you're picking the string, you want the pick to hit the string at an angle, right? You don't want to be like parallel with the string, because then you can take this pick and go all the way into the body. You know, you want to be turning it so it's resting on top of the string, like you're literally playing on top of the string. So we do something fast like that. I'm not like digging deep, because then I won't be able to. If I dig deep, sounds lovely. It's like I'm beating the guitar with a stick. So so you want to get used to just like being right on top of the string. So with a pointed pick and playing at an angle, you know, the one edge of the pick gets worn down after a while. And then once it gets worn down, you start having to change your wrist angle to adapt to the pick getting worn down. But these Dava, these are nylon Dava picks, and I love these to death. I keep going back to these because they just don't wear down. I've used this same pick for the last 3 weeks, I think. I used this for the first live stream, whenever that was, a couple weeks ago. That's a long time for me to use the same pick for like 3 weeks. Usually it'll last 3 days and it gets worn down. I gotta grab another pick, you know, kind of thing. Well, Paul McCartney was with him. Oh, wow, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I believe that. That's how a lot of the fingerstyle guys that are performers, they got to use acrylics because, you know, if you break your nail and you got a show, you're done. They use the nail, combination of the nail and the fleshy part of the fingers to get their sound. So if you lose your nail, it's like you lose your pick, and they'll sound terrible. Not to mention it'll be harder to play. But yeah, that's why I have all these crazy picks. Is I've gone through a lot of different styles looking for ones that just don't wear down. But this is the one. These nylon Davas just are unbelievable. Usually the Dava picks you see, like actually this container, I think Music Lover is the only place that has Dava picks that's local. And these are Derlin Dava picks, which is like the regular, like, you know, these different multicolors you see. The nylon I can only find online. So it looks like the Derlin Davas, but it's a very different material. And there's a lot of Davas in there that I've just worn through. And this one is just like, yeah, whatever, dude. Not wearing down. So, and it's got a nice tone to it. It works nice on acoustic guitar. It's also, I wish I had a black light. It glows in the dark. So if I'm on stage, under stage lighting, this thing just glows like crazy. And which is kind of cool, especially for the 80s band. Or if you drop your pick and, where's my pick? Oh, there's a glowing object over there. That must be my pick. So, but yeah, getting used to picks it takes some time. You have to definitely not be afraid to experiment and But at the end of the day, what I found that always works for people is having a pick with some kind of point to it. The rounded picks, they're great for rhythm, but if you want to do any kind of lead work, the pointed pick is where it's at. And if you get used to playing with a point, you can adapt that to your rhythm playing very easily. Like you saw earlier in the live stream, I was doing the funky stuff. This is all with the same pick. I haven't changed picks at all. So it's very versatile, very versatile. Finding your pick is like a quest. Yeah, it really is. That might be endgame. Endgame for guitar players, finding the pick you're going to use and finding your tone. I think that's going to be the expansion that no one's ever going to complete ever. So, but that was pretty cool. And I'm thinking next time I get a chance to do a live stream, I might do one just on blues and how to like play over blues tracks, play busy over blues tracks, play not so busy over blues tracks, because that's a very difficult style to talk about subdividing, and that's really what I love doing a lot with any kind of technical stuff is, you know, how can we subdivide and on top of everything else you're trying to create. So, but subdividing is really, really important. I want to definitely spend more time on camera talking about subdividing. It's a very good skill to develop, and the more that people get used to hearing me yap about it and demonstrating it, you know, the more they can take it to heart and learn something from it. So it makes a big difference when you're trying to add your technique that you've been working on to application of playing behind a track, and you've got to be able to handle different tempos, and there's a lot of tempos that I would not be comfortable with in certain things too. So that's what I would work on. So anyways, that was a blast. I always have fun with these. This is very off the cuff. I sort of have a little bit planned every time, but nothing major. It's just like, oh, I'm going to do this and then see what else happens. So I had fun getting my DR5 out. That was kind of cool. Playing all these different sounds with it, and I'll have to do some more with that for sure. I actually have it, now that I have it out again, I've got it in my studio. I used to have this thing, which I still have, obviously, because it's in my hand. But I used to use this a lot, this Beat Buddy, which is great if you're just doing drums. But it's cool to have a quick ability to add bass and piano or something if I need to jam with a student on a track or whatnot. So it's cool to be able to do that and actually create stuff on the spot. But if anyone ever wants to check out these Boss, if you're a musician that is interested in workstations, that's not like just a keyboard-heavy workstation. I mean, when I did a search earlier for when it was released, there was a few of them out there, like, you know, under $100. So it's not like it's crazy, but it's old technology. So a lot of fun to mess around with. But that was cool. I really enjoyed playing with that a little bit, and messing around with the Rock Beach, which is cool. Always fun to play this guitar. All different tones you can get. So I still got to do like a demo and a clean sounds of this. I got to do that soon. Get that to the website. And I think eventually I'm going to drag Greg here for a whole Rock Beach session. I got to organize it where I can make it happen and have Greg bring some of his other Rock Beach guitars, and I get to play those. I love playing with toys. And demo some of those on the spot. You know, maybe some of the ones that no drag. There's some really like cool private stock ones that you have that I think I did a couple of demos, I think, for Music Lover Shop with them, but I would love to just like have some time with them and just play, you know, and really show what some of these guitars can do. So Greg, you have to go through your stock and pick like 5 or 6 that you want to have like really like good demos on, and we could talk about, you know, not with the ones I have here. Yeah, there's some cool guitars, really cool. They're each so different. That's what's really neat. Like, I wish more people would get their hands on them and just try it. You know, it's definitely worth getting one in your hands, play around with it, and you got to remember they're all different. So you might play one and go, oh, that's not the sound. Well, okay, well, what's the sound you're looking for? Try another one until you find it. You know, so that's how it works for these things. But now, you know, with me trying to bump up a little more on my YouTube channel, I get to get this guitar out there a little more as far as the sounds and whatnot. So I'm excited about that. I really love playing this thing. I either play this or the yellow 7-string. If I'm playing 7 strings up, I grab that, which is the cheapest guitar I have. If I'm on a 6-string, I'm playing this. That's pretty much how I roll, and it works. And once in a while, I'll grab an acoustic guitar, but it's mainly the Rock Beach and the yellow Ibanez. But anyways, thank you all for checking out the stream. Always a blast. I don't want to go too long. 2 hours is perfect. And I'm not sure when the next one's going to be. Probably going to be a little bit out, a couple weeks out. I got to look at the schedule and see when I can sneak in. But yeah, definitely the next one will be probably the blues thing. And then I'm hoping to schedule something with Greg to do a whole Rock Beach thing. That'll be really, really cool. So, and you get to meet Greg. And Greg's a sweetheart. We all love Greg. So, all right, everyone, have a great night. Maybe next time I'll actually have a intro worked out instead of just click or me going, oh, I think everything's working. Yeah, I gotta put like some kind of intro together for this thing or some kind of track. I don't know. I'll figure something out. In the meantime, wait, you'll have new. Oh, that's right. I forgot. So, okay, we'll have to time it when you're healed up from your hip replacement. So, all right, everyone, have a fantastic night. The 17th. Okay, I'll remember that. Greg. I'll make a note of that. And thanks for coming. Hope you enjoyed it. And like I said, it's going to go. I always put all these on my YouTube channel. So if you want to watch the whole thing, you can check it out on YouTube. I'll probably do some more clips and stuff and throw them around, highlight reels or whatever. So it gives me plenty to work with. Okay, have a great night, everyone. We'll see you soon. Bye.